Well, good morning, Trinity Grace Church. Well, we've made our way through the end of this spectacular book, and we're left with yet another spectacular scene. And we get a glimpse into the city of life. We get a glimpse into paradise, and the new heavens and the new earth. And while it is new, it is also something restored. And we may have some reservations about that language. We think of something restored like we do of our electronics. We purchase restored items because they're less expensive. They're advertised as like new, but something within us kind of knows that they're not really like new. We're going to get something that's already been broken and now it's been fixed, and we think, will it simply break again in the same way that it did before? Well, Revelation 22 gives us a glimpse into this city of life, and it is paradise, and it is paradise restored. But we ought not let that give us pause, because this isn't second rate. It's not simply the broken that has been fixed, but it's the fallen that has been redeemed. It's the cursed that's now been blessed. When we think of the city, of life, our minds ought to go back to the Garden of Eden. For after all, John takes our minds back there. So does Ezekiel. Takes our minds right back to that garden. We're meant to think of the garden and the description of a world untainted by sin and by shame. We're to think of the communion with God. We're to think of the beauty of the earth. We're to think of building and working and enjoying God's creation as it was meant to be enjoyed, apart from the curse of the fall. You see, the Bible doesn't present a picture of glory that's completely disconnected from the original creation, or even disconnected from our own experience. It doesn't present a picture of floating, disembodied spirits floating on clouds playing the harp. That's how we often think of that. And it's so far from the biblical picture. No, it's a physical earth where we, with glorified bodies, will work and build and enjoy God, will enjoy His creation, will enjoy His people for all eternity. But this new city is not just a return to the garden. It's better. It's better. And we may say, well, wait a minute, how can it be better when the Garden of Eden was created by God and God declared it good? How could we say that there is something better than what God created and declared good? It's better because it and we will be redeemed. Not only will it not be subject to the curse of the fall, but neither subject to the possibility of a fall. That's remarkable to think about, isn't it? Not even possible to fall. And we may say, well, why? Well, because the throne of God and the throne of the Lamb are in it, and its citizens and the earth has been redeemed. The work of redemption has been accomplished in Christ Jesus. We will have perfect communion with God as His children. And a communion, dare I say, not experienced by Adam and Eve in the garden. And again, we might pause and say, well, wait a minute. Adam and Eve walked with God prior to the fall. That is true. And they were in perfect communion with God. But there was something different about that. Adam hadn't heard those words, well done, my good and faithful servant. You see, that's an incredible thought, isn't it? Because of the work of Christ, we will live forever with that commendation. You are my son, or you are my daughter. In you I am well pleased. Adam experienced the goodness of God. He experienced the benevolence of God. But we experience the grace of God. The grace of God. That's something different in glory. It's something different even now than it was in the garden. But in glory, there in glory, there is still the tree of life, yes. But there is no tree of the knowledge of good and evil. There will be no possibility of the fall. That's the difference between a redeemed heaven and earth and the Garden of Eden. It's a garden that's been redeemed. For we are a people that have been redeemed. And we end with what we've seen all along in the book of Revelation, an encouragement to persevere, to endure, that this world is not all there is. While we live in this tension of the already and the not yet between the two comings of Christ, there will be struggle, there will be strife, there will be temptation, there will be suffering, there will be tribulation, there will be joy, there will be peace, there will be comfort. Even here. Before Jesus returns, the wicked will continue in their wickedness. But you're called, and I'm called, we're called to walk in righteousness. Because this is not all there is. This life is but a blip in light of eternity. And there's also an invitation, then isn't there? An invitation to this city of life. Those who take from the tree of life are those whose robes have been washed in the blood of the Lamb, whose sins have been forgiven. So do you want to eat of the tree of life for all eternity? Believe in the Lord Jesus. It's simple, isn't it? And yet profound. Believe in the Lord Jesus. Let's pray. Our God in heaven, we're thankful for this wonderful truth, and we are thankful that we are the redeemed. And in glory we will still be the redeemed. And this earth will be redeemed, and there will be no possibility of the fall. And that is different than it was in the garden. Different than how even Adam and Eve lived. Because they were able to be tempted by the evil one. But in glory, he will have been thrown. And death and Hades destroyed. Never to tempt again. So we rejoice in that, and we look forward to that. And may we yearn, and may we even say, come Lord Jesus, come quickly. Oh Lord, would that truth of what is to come, would it impact and affect and inform the way we live today for your glory? We ask in the name of Jesus. Amen. Trinity Grace Church, have a great day today. Love you and miss you. We're getting close, I think, closer and closer to the time where we'll be able to be together and worship together again. And I, again, look forward to that time. Have a great day today. Call if you need anything. We'll talk to you soon.